For over 4 decades, HBO has been widely regarded as the home of prestige TV. The modern age of that reputation truly began with The Sopranos in the noughties, and has continued in the years since with massive critical, awards, and pop culture-consuming HBO TV show hits like Sex and the City, The Wire, True Detective, The White Lotus, and Game of Thrones. As a premium network, HBO quickly differentiated itself from the TV fare on networks like ABC, CBS, and NBC. The shows on HBO would be more profane, graphic, mature, and uncensored, coming much closer to what audiences would get at the movie theater than on their usual cable channels. With HBO's freedoms, TV received an empire of prestigious stories that only became more empowered over time. As HBO launched its first major comedy series in 1983 with not necessarily the news, other premium TV networks followed as the battle for prestige television first began. HBO has faced plenty of rivals with networks like Showtime, FX, and AMC throughout that time, and the original battle has finally been won after recent changes to a major TV brand. HBO vs. Showtime was the real original streaming wars rivalry. While the streaming wars has consumed much of today's TV content discourse, with the long-standing battle between Netflix and Hulu finally ended after Disney announced the latter would be shut down, a similar rivalry has been happening for decades with premium TV networks. Before there was Netflix versus Hulu, there was HBO versus Showtime. Both have been responsible for launching some of TV's biggest and most prestigious series and franchises, with Showtime being the home to hit series like Dexter, Californication, Nurse Jackie, Ray Donovan, Shameless, and Homeland, among others. Even recently, Showtime has launched critically acclaimed shows like Yellow Jackets, Dexter, Resurrection, and The Curse. Showtime released its first major original series around the same time as HBO with the launch of The Paper Chase in 1983, with both churning out top-tier television across a very similar timeline. However, after 4 decades, that rivalry is effectively coming to an end, with HBO officially coming out on top. Showtime is subtly dying after Paramount's recent TV show and branding moves. Currently, Showtime's future looks uncertain from the outside. While many streaming services have recently been rebranding their names and tiers, such as Max returning to HBO Max or Apple TV Plus now dropping the Plus, Showtime has taken a hit in regards to how Paramount has elevated its worth and draw. After Paramount dissolved Showtime's separate streaming platform, the network's content was moved to the top subscription tier for Paramount Plus, soon known as Paramount Plus with Showtime. However, Paramount recently reversed action, rebranding the tier to drop the Showtime name and simply be known as Paramount Plus Premium. Even outside the service changes that undermine Showtime's power as a brand, the network has made some concerning decisions regarding its TV show renewals and cancellations. Currently, Showtime only has 2 upcoming scripted TV shows that could potentially go on for multiple seasons, The Agency and Dexter, Resurrection. Meanwhile, it recently reversed the decision to renew Dexter, Original Sin for Season 2. The network's 2 other dramas, Yellow Jackets and The Chi, have been renewed for their final seasons. Additionally, there are no other upcoming brand new Showtime original titles confirmed for the network, with the focus on new miniseries seemingly having ended in 2023. It seems the focus instead has been on original shows for Paramount Plus rather than the more specific Showtime brand. As such, the signs are pointing to Showtime's TV network being in a slowly dying state as Paramount Plus takes over the company's programming focus. Unlike HBO, Showtime's name no longer holds the same power it used to. While both HBO and Showtime have essentially been absorbed into their owning company's streaming services, the Showtime branding and prestige feels like it's been diluted at Paramount Plus, which isn't the case for HBO at HBO Maximum. In fact, WBD fixed complaints about undermining its biggest flagship brand by finally reinstating the streaming service's name as HBO Max. On HBO Max, the most exciting series that tend to come out of the service are still HBO originals, with some notable exceptions, like the HBO Max original The Pit. However, Paramount Plus' balance of Paramount Plus originals and Showtime originals hasn't been anywhere close, with the former arguably now taking on more power with Taylor Sheridan's many dramas, Mobland, and new Star Trek entries. With Showtime now producing fewer series each year and many now having received more Paramount Plus with Showtime streaming promotion, the network's prestige weight is becoming much lower than HBO's is within HBO Maximum. While HBO was arguably always pulling ahead, these changes to Showtime have given that long-standing battle a clear winner. FX is still putting up a big fight against HBO, but Disney might ruin it. Currently, another network consistently releasing prestige TV that continues to dominate the landscape is FX. In recent years, FX has been responsible for major hits like The Bear, American Horror Story, Shogun, The Shield, Sons of Anarchy, Fargo, Justified, and Alien, Earth, among many others. FX hasn't slowed down with its exciting and highly anticipated TV releases, much like HBO. However, recent changes in Disney's streaming and TV branding could potentially change its reputation. Recently, some big FX series have seemed to be branded with FX and Hulu almost equally, such as The Bear and Alien, Earth. However, now that Hulu is shutting down, it's unclear what that means for the streaming side of these shows. With Hulu's streaming platform merging with Disney+, Disney will reportedly still be using the Hulu brand as a key aspect of its streaming strategy. However, with these brands now more unified than ever, it's unclear whether FX shows will be rolled into Hulu more as a brand within a brand or lean even further into the Hulu branding.